Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 20th. I thought I should do a recap because I realized that yesterday afternoon I crossed the 100-mile mark. So, just some bullet points in the first 100 miles. I've now been out 10 nights and I spent one night in a shelter, one night in a hotel at Delaware Water Gap, and the rest of the nights in my tent. I definitely prefer my tent, particularly because the bugs have been kind of annoying the last couple days, and inside my tent is the only way to completely avoid the bugs. What else? I've definitely lightened my pack. That was one of my goals. I knew I started heavy, but after the first week, get a hotel room, empty out my pack completely, and then take another look at everything I have and only keep what I really need. I actually arranged for a resupply box on the night that I stayed in a hotel because I had dinner with friends, and my one friend works very close to where my daughter lives, so my daughter gave my friend the box. My friend gave the box to me. I had by that time gone through my pack and determined a few things I didn't need, so I sent them back with my friend to my daughter. So I already did one resupply box and one whatever you call sending stuff home. I already did one of those. Body's feeling good. Feet are a little bit sore naturally. I think last time I looked at my app it said 350,000 steps in the last 7 days, something like that. Last night I stopped early, mainly because I want to go to a diner for breakfast, where I'm heading now. But I stopped early, and that led me to starting early, and that really feels comfortable. Part of starting early, though, is silk blazing, which is a little... On the AT, we're always following the white blazes. There's one. Can you see him? The one on that side of the tree. Yeah, one on that side of the tree for southbound people. So because the white blazes are such a part of everyday life, there have been other sorts of blazing that pop up. So I'm the first person on this section of the trail because I started moving about 6 this morning. And so for that reason, I am silk blazing. And that means that I don't know if you can actually catch them sometimes, I'm walking through all of the spider webs that appeared last night. So I'm silk blazing. Which means I end up, can you see him? Anyway, which means I end up walking down the trail with both my trekking poles sticking out in front of me like I'm looking for 2 sword fights. And of course you can't mention sword fight without saying, I admit it, you're better than I am. Then why are you smiling? Perhaps it is because I know something you don't know. I am not left-handed.
Come, sir. I admit it, you are better than I am. Then why are you smiling? Because I know something you don't know. And what is that? I am not left-handed.
Okay, this is a recap to my 100-mile video. Some other details that I forgot. Oh, and a correction. I have not walked that many steps in the last 7 days. In the last 7 days, I have walked 215,000 steps, according to my app. I had one day, which was my 4th full day on the trail, where I walked 46,000 steps. That was 17 miles. And the good news about that was it was only my 4th day on the trail. Walked 17 miles, walked 15 the next day, felt fine. Didn't feel like I was pushing myself much on either day. So just something to keep in mind for later. I've been averaging probably 14 miles a day, but 17 was my biggest. I had one potential disaster this morning. I got moving and walked a mile, and then I heard something behind me. I turned around and it was my tent stakes. I keep my tent on the outside bottom of my back. I don't know if you can see. So my tent's on the outside with 2 straps, and after I heard something, I turned around and it was my tent stakes laying on the ground. And then when I took my backpack off to reset, my tent footprint was hanging out of the bag. So my tent has 5 pieces, and I almost lost 2 of them. I mean, they're the 2 least important, but when you only have 5 pieces of anything, 2 are very important. So, oh, and the other thing is I broke one thing so far, which was a compression bag that I keep my puffy jacket in. And that was a 2.5 liter compression bag, and I just blew the side out, stuffing my jacket into it. So maybe I need a bigger one. But as it turns out, I just transferred my jacket to another bag that I have, which is not a compression bag, and that's actually an improvement because I use my compression bag, or excuse me, my puffy jacket in a bag as a pillow. So not in a compression bag, the jacket works much better as a pillow. So that one thing that broke actually ended up being an improvement. And here's some water. I don't know what it is. And here's my experience with New Jersey is more South Jersey than North Jersey, and all of these hills is not what I think of typically when I think of New Jersey. I think of flat when I think of New Jersey, because when I'm driving towards the ocean, you get to a certain point where there ain't no hills anywhere. So here's the hills of New Jersey. That's it. If I think of any more details, I'll fill you in.